And now we come to the last of the assessment, that is the summary assessment. So basically, summary assessment is where the proper officer feels the revenue is going to get affected, and without issuing any notice, immediately order is passed. So these are the cases where the proper officer feels that this person may run away, or there are chances if I delay, the money, the tax amount may not come. In such cases, a summary assessment is passed. So it is basically to protect the interest of revenue when the proper officer has evidence that a taxable person has incurred a liability to pay tax under the Act, and proper officer has sufficient grounds to believe that delay in passing an assessment order may adversely affect the interest of revenue. So the proper officer may issue an assessment order imposing the tax liability on the person based on any evidence. So immediately assessment order without any notice, assessment order will be passed. So this is a very draconian section. So you have to be very, very careful. So if a person to whom the liability pertains is not ascertained, that is, you don't know to whom the notice has to be issued. So the person who is holding the goods, on him, the order will be passed. So there are some goods, we don't know who is owning the goods. So the person who is storing that goods or keeping that in custody, on him, the order will be passed. If later on, if this order is found to be erroneous, the proper officer may withdraw such order, and a normal process of show cause notice under section 73 or 74 will be followed. So again, under this summary assessment, there is no requirement to issue notice, straight away order. Assessment order under section 64 has to be completed without issue of notice. The assessing officer has to fulfill following conditions. So because it's a very serious section, without notice order is issued, so some safeguards are there. Evidence showing tax liability of a person should have come to his notice. So there has to be a clear evidence with him. Okay, there is a tax escapement. Evidence can be understood. So what is evidence? We have to get it from the Evidence Act. Before passing an order or before initiating action under this section, there should be a previous approval from the additional commissioner or joint commissioner. And the assessment should protect the interest of revenue. So if he feels the tax amount may get delayed or it may not come, and there is a revenue which is going to get affected, on that conditions only this assessment can be done, and proper officer should have sufficient grounds to believe that any delay in doing so may adversely affect the interest of revenue. So basically, summary assessment is ASMT 016, where the order will be passed directly with DRC 07 uploaded. Person may file an application for withdrawal. So as soon as the order is passed, the registered person may file an application for withdrawing this order in ASMT 17. ASMT 18, the order of withdrawal or rejection of the application shall be issued. So in ASMT 18, the order will be passed. So basically, these are the assessments. Now, if anyone has doubt, I think we can take some 5 minutes for question answer and assessments.
Sir Satish.
Satish.
Sir, my question is that say if this section 62, right? Based on the 61, the assessment to be done based on the return. So my question is that there are 10 invoices which I furnished in GST 1, and also I paid tax accordingly in GST 3B. There is also a invoice number 11 which I have not disclosed. My question here is that somewhere the department get the information through 26 AS or something, some sources. So what are the procedure to be followed? It's my question. So because my understanding based on the discussion, so you can scrutinize only the return and the particulars which is furnished by the concerned taxpayer, right?
See, what is the scope of 61? Scope of 61 is scrutinizing the return and with whatever data available. So scrutinizing the return it is. So when you say scrutinizing the return, that means the scope is little narrow. So you cannot actually issue a notice under section 61 for an e-way bill mistake, or you cannot issue a notice for a tax invoice mistake or anything which is other than return, you can actually issue notice only to a limited scope of return. So now your question is whether 26As is matched, any other information. So if any information proper officer gets and he tries to compare it with your monthly return. Now see, when you're talking about 26As, 26As is very, very difficult to match with your monthly return or a tax period because it is a yearly return. So 61 for annual return is not basically for your monthly return. So 26As with a monthly return is very difficult. Maybe they may get some information like you told, your 11 invoices, 10 only is uploaded, 11th is not uploaded. Then there are chances nowadays, 100% it will come where any small mismatch between GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, you get a notice. So that's a valid notice and you have to give a reply for it. And if you have missed, you have to pay it in the next month and get it clarified.
No, my question is, suppose the assessee has missed. My question is that under which section the department will follow. See, one is about the 61, which
61 talks about scrutiny.
Okay.
62 talks about non-filers. So if you are a non-filer, he will issue notice under section 62. Okay.
Sir, I'm filing the return, but only thing is that one particular transaction I have not been disclosed. So
exactly, that's a discrepancy, no? That is a discrepancy you accept?
Yeah, it's there.
Right. So suppose in your GSTR 1, you said 10 lakh liability, but whereas you discharge only 9 lakh liability in your 3B, there is a
No, I am telling that GSTR 1 and 3B is matching. The only thing is that I have not uploaded, the invoice number 11 I am not shown either in GSTR 1 or related tax liability I was not discharged to the department.
See,
so how the department will collect this 11th invoice tax amount?
Yeah, so see, now what happens is now your suppose one invoice is missed in GSTR 1, it is missed in 3B. Okay, so both are matching, no issues. The proper officer gets this information of one invoice from your e-way bill because all the 11 invoices you have issued e-way bill, whereas only for the 10 it has come in GSTR 1, one has missed in your 1, but it is available in e-way. So he gets an information from e-way bill. So once he gets the information e-way bill, immediately he finds the discrepancy between your return and the data available. He will issue a notice. So once he issues a notice to you and there is a liability, see, there is, suppose if there is of course there is a liability because you yourself are telling you missed one invoice. So if there is a liability.
That note is under which section, sir?
Section 61. It's a scrutiny of return only. Because your 3B is not correct. He's telling you your 3B is not matching with actual data.
Sir, what if I have not even filed a e-way bill also? I have not furnished anything. So under the GST law, I have not furnished anything.
Satish, he will be having some data, some evidence he will be having, then only he will issue notice.
Sir, I understood, sir. Somehow they have got the information through, from income tax or something like that. My question is that he got the information, something
how he will get an
supply. It could be from 26 years or matching with the income tax return. Somewhere he got the information or even.
So if he gets the information, that is a proof, no? See, finally, he is doing a scrutiny of a return only. If something is missed out, he gets the information from somewhere. That means your return is not correct. He is sending you a notice to explain why there is a discrepancy between the data available and in 3B. See, finally, he has to get an evidence. So you can get evidence from 26 years. You can get evidence from any tax invoice. He might have just got it from somewhere. He may get some evidence from somewhere and he can ask you a question under section 61. It is not necessary. It has to be from your GSTR 3, GSTR 1 or from e-way bill. It can be from anywhere. But he should have an evidence to prove that there is a discrepancy. And you have to prove okay, there is no discrepancy, or if there is a discrepancy, you have to pay tax. So the question is not under what section notice will be issued. The section 61 is only for scrutiny of returns. So if your return, there is some mismatch he finds from somewhere else, you have to explain it. Assessment 10 will be issued.
Okay, so now my understanding is that even you furnish a return, by any chance you missed that information, department now gets information through any other act or something like that, they can issue the notice under 61. You need to furnish the information, or based on that you can assess the information. So now the what are the
liability cannot be created in section 61. Section 61 is only to ask you details why there is a discrepancy. If there is a discrepancy, you are not able to explain, or he finds out there is a discrepancy which you have not explained or you have not paid, then notice cannot be issued under section 61. He has to take action under section 73 or 74 only. 61 is only a procedure to get the information from you. Why there is a discrepancy? So if there is a discrepancy, you pay the tax in the next subsequent tax period. You have to show the proof to him, the matter is closed. If you have not paid, he will issue a show cause notice under section 73 non-fraud case and 74 fraud case.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I think we can, any other question is there on assessments?